when you're talking about networking, I think what a lot of people think it is exclusively is like going out to like events and stuff like that. Is that what you were talking about?
I'm talking about more like building a relationship specifically targeted to a person as if it's the only person you know. And
Elaborate on that.
I'll explain to you. So there's this, I see the kid. He's 21 years old now, so I guess you can call him a kid, 21 years old. He's a few years younger than me. He got licensed maybe 2 years ago, and he's been now in the business for a few years. Good kid. He's probably watching this. He likes to watch your content, see most of his content. And I never noticed it, but he would keep DMing me on Instagram. But I don't have the app on my phone, so I don't see it all the time. I'm not watching it. I'll check it once every 2 days, kind of thing, right? On my browser, not even on the app. But this kid would always be complimenting me very politely. Hey, bro, you look fly today on that story. I like your cigar. What cigar do you... You know, he's trying to poke at certain things that I like, but he's not annoying about it.
Okay.
And then over time, he was just like, hey, I have this opportunity, you know, for us to potentially do business together. I have a large database. I don't know how to do deals myself. I'm brand new. Maybe we can partner together. I said, all right, come by for a cigar since you like cigars so much. And he kept building relationships on cigars. Like, that was his mediator between us two. I'm like, okay, cool. I come in, and the guy ended up being a cool kid. And now we do a little bit of deals together. Nothing crazy. But he got his first deals under his belt by working with me, but he got in touch with me by relating to me about cigars on Instagram. So I don't know if it was his intentions to do deals that way, but he just connected with me through cigars.
So it's funny that you're talking about Instagram and social media from a networking perspective, because that's what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned that most people think exclusively it's like going out and meeting people, which is definitely a fantastic strategy. And if you have a lot of time, you should do that. But you should also, in my opinion, network online, right? Like, you can actually network online a lot quicker, a lot easier. And I don't like to sometimes use that word easier because I feel like it's a cop-out, or people think, okay, it's the easy way. There's fucking work involved in that, putting out content and then networking and engaging with people. And also, even if you're not at a place right now to put out content, a way to network with people online is go into the Facebook groups, and not like spammy, like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a mortgage professional, I sell phones or whatever it is, and like just start selling stuff. That's weird. Like, you wouldn't do that in a live networking event. You wouldn't just go and start handing out your business cards. Like, you're not going to connect with anybody by doing that, right? But imagine if you can go also into other people's videos. You don't even have to go into their Facebook, like what he was doing with you. Like, I love what he did, right? Like, he was going in there and just commenting on your stories, your posts, all that kind of stuff, which then he comes onto your radar, right? He never had to leave his home. He probably was doing it in his PJs, and he was able to connect with you. So you don't have to do it that old school way of going out and meeting people at all times. Like, there's other ways also of doing it.
Yeah, completely. I like that. I think if you remember when I first did my first ever deal ever, you actually facilitated it with me at Dylan Condos.
Dylan Condos?
Remember
that, like your own personal
deal? My own personal deal.
Yes.
You remember that one?
Yes.
The source, I mean, he's a realtor now, Nico.
Oh, okay.
Remember the client that bought?
Yes.
He's a realtor now.
Yeah. So you're talking about Nico?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Shout out to Nico. Yes.
Same thing.
I don't want to...
The networking's part.
Okay, great. Like, he actually he was looking into Dylan Condos or something. I'm trying to...
Before he was a
Perfect.
realtor.
Like it. Yeah.
And then he came, he's like, I called him on the phone because I was just trying to book appointments for myself. And he goes, hey, you sound like you're a young guy. Do you want to hang out? He just wanted to hang out. And I was like, bro, I'm brand new to this. Sure. I'll meet anybody just to meet people. And then he goes, and then I go to him. I'm like, you smoke cigars by any chance? Like, I just started like a year ago. And he's like, no, I haven't. And then boom, that's how we connected. And then he ended up, like, fast forward 3-4 months later, he bought a property off of us.
Amazing.
My first deal.
Okay, so networking, you said for sure. Let's talk about a couple of the things that they actually spoke about in this article, which closing the deal and follow-up. Talk about follow-up, man. Like, what's your thoughts on follow-up? I obviously have my own thoughts on that as well.
Okay, 2021, there was a project that sold out extremely quick. Moto 51. That was the first phase of Moto.
Bowmanville, east side of the GTA.
Exactly.
Okay.
Got in ground level, 800 per square foot, whatever it was. It was good prices at the time. Fast forward, they had a second project that got launched, and I saw the hype. So I wanted to launch that project to my own database, not just sell it to your network of investors. So I did launch it to my own database, and I sent it to about 110 investors. Not a single one of them gave me the time of day. I kept making phone calls. That project, for 110 investors, I made 17 rounds of phone calls. I sent out 8 emails and 8 text messages. So that's well over 30 touches in one project. But I saw the first hype. I thought maybe I can gain traction on the second go around because I'm new in this business. This was back in 2021. I kept going. My very last round, it was the 17th round, legit 17 rounds of phone calls across 110 investors. The last person that picked up the phone call booked an appointment. The next day came and met me. Same day bought a unit.
Yeah. Look,
That's how I feel about follow-up.
I was there when you were doing that. I see you follow up. I always get the question of like, how do you get podcast guests like the ones that you've got, like the Patrick Bet-Davids, the Gary V's, the Grant Cardones, Robert Kiyosaki, all of them. And that is a shameless plug in terms of if you haven't yet, because you're new to the community, either on the audio platforms or on any of the video platforms, go back. Like I think this is episode 240 or something like that. Maybe I'm off. Like go back and listen to all those. I get the question, how'd you get all those people? Do you know every single one of the names I just mentioned? It took me like about 1.5 years of follow-up. Right? And not emailing them or calling them or texting them every week even, but just little touches like, hey, I'm just here. Like, I'm not sure if you got my last email. I'm hoping to, do a podcast with you. But being resilient, like that's one of the other points that was made in this article of successful salespeople.
100%.
That is really what this business is about. What the business, and not the real estate business, I'm talking about the sales business. If you can become a machine in following up with people in a very professional and polite tone, not scammy and pushy, you will have guaranteed success. In fact, I don't even think I've ever told this story. I got into the real estate business, like what really pushed me over the hunch when I was 23 years old. I was selling cars for 3 years. I sold cars too. I'm thinking about, it all kind of fits, right? Law of vibration, everything that we're talking about. I'm thinking about getting into real estate. And then in a 30-day period, Luke, I sold 4 cars to real estate agents. 3 of them, brother. Okay, that's the law of vibration at work, by the way.
Right.
Thinking about it, same month, within a couple of months, like max, 4 cars to real estate agents. So I'm looking at their credit application. I'm like, holy shit, okay, this is one of the reasons I want to get in. Like, this is good. You're 23 years old, the same way when you started at 19. You think it's a lot easier than it really is. However, 3 out of the 4 people, man, English was probably like their third language. You know what I realized about them when I was talking to them?
Let's hear it.
You know why they were so good? It's because they just followed up.
Yeah.
Like, even till this day, if I search them up, I don't think they put any content out on social media.
Nothing.
Okay? They're like old school guys. They're probably now like, back then, they were probably about 40 years old. So they have to be like 60 now. Amazing guys, great guys, fantastic people. They helped me out as well. Gave me the boost. They weren't.
You still know them until now?
Like we don't really connect. One of them I do. Like I've seen them at like mutual like parties and stuff like that. Amazing guys. Okay.
But it's more casual.
More casual. Yeah. Anyways, the moral of the story is that they were selling. I'm talking about like back in those days. They were doing like probably 30, 40 homes a year, 50 homes a year. All 4 of them. Okay. But those 3 that were. English was a bare minimum like their second language for sure. What they did is, man, they just met people, and then it doesn't stop there. We started with networking because that's the first place that you get to meet people. But if you're not staying in touch with people, they're gonna forget about you.
Right.
They're not walking around with your business card stapled on their head, right? And so it is the follow-up through emails, today text messages. A lot of salespeople don't understand that social media is not just for you putting out just listed or look at the awards I won. It's actually a form of follow-up. Because when someone in your network is scrolling and they see your name, even if they don't like your photo, don't like your video, don't comment on it, don't share it, don't save it, them just seeing it subconsciously reminds them that you're in the business.
Right.
So it's a form of follow-up.
Right.
The best form of follow-up, though, the highest is, like you did the sign, phone calls. Yeah. Now, you can't call people every month and ask them if they want to buy, sell your product. Yeah. That's weird. That's not being polite and professional.
They're going to block you.
They're going to block you anyways. They're going to be like, every freaking day, dude, you're calling me? This is kind of odd. What you need to do is do it, in my opinion, once every like 3 to 4 months, and call with some type of value to the person. Which means it's not about asking them to buy or sell, because that's valuable really to you.
Yeah.
So how about think of some ways that you can make a phone call to this person and add value to their life. You're smiling, and I love you.
I was going to give an example.
Go.
So the best way that we do it is through events. We host one event a month. We're going to host 11 events this year. So then
we've done a one already.
We've done already.
And just really quickly, like if you're someone that's wanting to know what's happening in the real estate market, not only in the GTA, but Canada-wide, make sure you go check out my real estate company, REC Canada. Wherever, online, socials, whatever it is, we live stream our events, kind of similar to what we're doing today. But if you can come in person, it's only a seat for 60 people. It sells out every single time. We do a big brunch, like real food. Shout out to one of our clients, Tina, who puts it all together for us. Make sure you register. It's brunchwithrec.com, reccanada.com. You'll figure it out. Once a month, we're going to do the event.
So to your point about following up, you need a reason to touch these people. Because if you're just calling every single month saying, hey, do you want to list your house? People are going to block you. People are going to think you're weird. So we come with value. And what we do at REC Canada is we invite people to these brunches. It's like a networking event. It's educational. You can come learn from industry experts. We send an email to our database and network of investors, of 10, 11,000 investors. Here in the GTA, what are we at? 5,000, 6,000?
In terms of our investors?
Yeah.
No, excuse me. We have our REC insiders list now is north of 12,000, and I'm going to say 80% of that is in the GTA. So you're looking at about 8,000.
Yeah, so the venue that we host this event at can't even fit 80% of those people.
Yeah.
We just want 50, 60 people to come in and get to see us. For those that are
and they also network with each other, Lou.
Exactly, and they love it too, because they can kind of relate to other things that they've done in the business and investing and stuff like that. But what we do is we send an email invite to these investors, and then we make phone calls out to them, inviting them. But while we're touching them, the value is that you're invited to this free event with free breakfast, with free brunch and coffee, et cetera, et cetera. Also getting to meet industry experts. But then while we're on the phone with them, we ask them if they want to do what we call a real estate action plan, which is just a 20-minute conversation with a portfolio manager to go over what it is they're looking to accomplish.
And if the people who are watching and listening right now are thinking like, does that shit even work? Coming back full circle to when we started, in case somebody just jumped on right now, we've booked the 247 of those real estate action plans in 27 days.
Yeah.
Freaking insane. We broke so many records. And the reason is we're not telling you to make these follow-up calls based on even the 4 years that Luke's been with me. This has been something that we've been nurturing for 20 years. Yeah. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, dude, that's going to take me 20 years. No, it doesn't. We were getting not as good as results as I just mentioned for the last 27 days, but we've been getting results for the last decade. Like if you just even do this for 2 years, you'll start to see the results pump out. If you found that video valuable and you want to watch the full discussion, click here for my podcast. If you want to watch more videos, click here.